audiobooks or audio shows, check out a free trial of Audible. Just click the link in the description.
Welcome to MINDSHOCK True Crime. You are listening to the Stephen Avery series. This is part 15, the RAV4 part 3. I am your host, Bruce McGuire.
And Johnny Mills.
And today we're going over even more oddities regarding Teresa Halbach's supposed RAV4 that was found on Avery's salvage yard, and all of the bizarre circumstances surrounding that, including one of the biggest mind shocks of the case yet. Was it really found by Pam of God? And what evidence exists for it being found earlier by different individuals who actually reported it? What do you think about that, Johnny?
Yeah, that's sketchy.
Yeah, but before we get to that, we have plenty of more to go over and things that just simply don't add up in this case, of which there are many. If you like the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. If you like the podcast, hit the like button. Feel free to share it across social media platforms. And you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and Patreon. And patrons do get priority in case and subject requests for the podcast. All right, so let's dive into it. So there's a lot of sketchy aspects to this case. We discussed in the previous few episodes whether or not Teresa's RAV4 was mystic teal, forest green, like blue, green, red, whatever. You know, Ken Kratz actually went down the gauntlet and named it almost every single color there is just to cover the spectrum. But some people actually believe that even photographs admitted into evidence were photoshopped, and random photographs were photoshopped throughout this entire thing. So is the most famous photograph of Teresa Halbach's RAV4, is that photoshopped? I mean, some people point to the weird reflections, like there appears to be some kind of blur at her feet. I mean, what do you think about all this? These are supposedly this is a professional photographer working for a professional photography business, which we touched upon this on who took this picture, what the associations were, and coincidental things with the timeline with the business just being shut down and the timeline of the trial and all this weirdness. But real quick, let's look at the picture. Does it seem kind of strange?
I'm looking. So you're saying the reflections are kind of weird. Oh yeah, that back yellow-green circle. That's supposed to be clouds? That's kind of weird. Yeah,
I mean, it does kind of look cloudy that day anyway. It almost looks like... Yeah,
even like the flash, like, I think the flash should just be in one point, right? Depending on where it's coming from, not three different flash points.
I mean, I guess that depends on what it's being reflected off of, like what's around that? There looks like there's a car. Is there a car right behind the person taking the photograph? Are there other reflective surfaces to the left and the right? I mean, there shouldn't be, unless it was some kind of staged photograph and they brought out like a bunch of reflectors or something.
Yeah, I see the blue circle now, or oval, whatever that is, a little blurriness. So it could be motion blur, but it's kind of like, doesn't look like it is.
How fast? Does she look like she's moving that fast? Does she look like she's like sprinting out of her car? I mean,
real fast.
Yeah, there's a little bit of weird shadow too, like under her camera and at the bottom of her jacket, the back of her jacket. I mean, would it really look like that? I don't know. Like, this whole photo seems strange. Was it manipulated? Some people say, oh look, it was this color and this, but are we taking on blind faith that this whole Teresa Halbach situation, not that she wasn't a real person, I mean, people have done their research. They found photographs of her in school and all these things. She was definitely a real person. You know, obviously that was one of the most insane, preposterous. I mean, although if she was a made-up person, I mean, if that's what the truth is, that's what it is. I mean, we're not going to appeal to incredulity and fallacies, but it appears there's plenty of evidence to corroborate she was indeed a real person.